You know, we see a lot of bewares and PSAs regarding problematic individuals in our fandom, and this isn't as much of a uniquely furry problem as much as it is a product of the internet and social media and the fact that anything you do or say being in some way traceable. But like, yeah, I get the purpose of them, but what about redemption arcs, second chances? Can someone who's been canceled online be given that grace? Like, come on, I want more stories of personal emotional growth, self-improvement, and maturity, but it's when you get to this point that things become a lot more complicated, because you have to start asking yourself hard questions like, who should get a second chance? At what point are the crimes so heinous that it warrants being blackballed from the conversation indefinitely? I guess this is where your own moral compass has to come into play. And as common sense would dictate, I certainly think SA, zoophilia, and inappropriately interacting with minors, etc. are certainly going to reap far worse consequences than just making promises you can't keep, being a general asshole, or saying a choice word or phrase, or shady business practices, or something like that. Ultimately, I think the main factors in whether or not one can come back after being called out in a PSA like this is whether or not the subject of the PSA or the call out can accept it as criticism, albeit harsh criticism, and be able to self-reflect and improve. One must be able to admit that they were wrong and be able to accept that not everyone is going to just get over it, especially if the person's actions directly affected them. However, if a person has truly changed, folks new and old will begin to gravitate back towards that person, which is why I think redemption arcs in the fandom and just in general are quite common. They're just not loud like public callouts tend to be.